Having wiped the memories of Revan's life before his new identity as a Republic soldier, the Jedi Council sent him to serve aboard the ship Endar Spire so he might be watched over by its commander, the Jedi Padawan Bastila Shan. Meanwhile, Darth Malak, newly risen Master of the Sith and ruler of their empire, began his reign by disregarding the carefully planned 20-year strategy of conquest designed by Revan to preserve as much of the Republic as possible while bringing it under his control in favor of an aggressive, merciless campaign focused on destruction rather than conquest, which in theory should bring him victory far sooner. Although Malak's plan included the annihilation of entire planets, meaning far less resources were available to both sides, this was to his benefit, as he fully embraced the star-powered potential of the Starforge, using it without restraint to build ships and weapons of war. Following in the traditions of the Sith, Malak, as Master of the Order, took an apprentice to serve as second-in-command, choosing Darth Bandin, a former Jedi, turned to the dark side in his pursuit of power. Naming Darth Bandin as his shadow hand, Malak and his apprentice saw a number of early victories, with their aggressive strategy quickly gaining them an advantage. Yet Malak was not satisfied, as he felt there was still one person in the Republic who may hold the key to stopping their progress, and so went on the hunt for Bastila Shan, the Jedi Padawan specializing in battle meditation, allowing her to enhance the morale and abilities of entire armies and fleets during combat. Discovering her location, Malak and Bandin travel to the planet Taurus aboard their flagship Leviathan to find and attack the Endar Spire. Yet what they did not realize was that Malak's former master, thought to be dead, was also aboard the ship. Woken from his slumber by his bunkmate, Revan and Trask Ulgo of Alderaan were soon contacted by veteran officer Cartho Nassi, ordering them to the bridge so they might help defend the Jedi Bastila Shan. Fighting their way through the ship, they soon ran into the fearsome Darth Bandin, and seeing no alternative, Trask Ulgo sacrificed himself by charging at the Dark Lord so Revan might escape. Contacted again, he learned Bastila safely boarded an escape ship, and so Onasi and Revan did the same, crash landing on the surface of Taurus. Finding Revan unconscious, Onasi dragged him to an abandoned apartment in the upper city and waited for him to wake. Dreaming of his near death while fighting the Jedi, Revan awoke several days later, and the two made it their mission to find Bastila and return to the Republic. During his time on Taurus, Revan accomplished much by interacting with its people, acquiring a sample of rock ghoul serum for a doctor, and helping outcasts escape the Undercity to find what they hoped was a promised land. But most importantly for their purposes, they befriended a Twi'lek girl named Mission Veo and helped rescue her Wookiee companion Zalbar, who was so grateful he swore a life debt to Revan, with both joining in his travels. Using their connections to the Hidden Beck gang, Revan learned that after Bastila's ship crashed on the planet, she was captured by Brejik, leader of the Black Vulkars gang, and was being offered as a prize to the winner of a swoop bike race. Allying with the Hidden Becks, Revan entered the race in their name and stole a prototype accelerator from the Vulkars, allowing him to claim victory. Knowing they stole the prototype, the Vulkars withdrew their prize, and violence was about to erupt when Bastila Shan broke free of her restraints and fought alongside her Republic allies to make their escape. Reunited with her old friend Cartho Nassi and the man she pretended was just a Republic soldier, they learned Revan's force sensitivity was re-emerging and somehow causing Bastila to share his dreams. Realizing their first priority was to leave the planet, they made contact with Canderous Ordo, a Mandalorian mercenary who helped them steal the ship Ebon Hawk from a wealthy criminal. Buying a T-3M4 droid to help with the mission, they successfully left the planet and journeyed to Dantooine, where Bastila informed the Jedi Council of all that occurred and presented this Force-sensitive Republic soldier with whom she was sharing dreams. Pretending not to know who Revan was, they declared the two had a Force bond, meaning they could communicate and strengthen each other through the energy passing between them. Though the Council was alarmed Revan's powers and memories were returning, they ultimately decided to train him as a Jedi once more, putting him through weeks of intense instruction from the Masters and additional tutoring from Bastila. Knowing Revan's mind could also reveal information of enormous value in their war against the Sith, the Jedi assigned Bastila to act as his mentor and companion so she might use their bond to slowly and carefully bring some of these memories to the surface. During his time on Dantooine, Revan once again helped as many as possible, dealing with Mandalorian outlaws and bringing the Jedi Padawan Juhani back from the dark side, resulting in her joining the crew of the Ebon Hawk. After finding part of a star map within a dark side cave, Revan was struck by a vision of the past, remembering when he and Malak underwent their mission to find the Star Forge. And so he and the crew set off to retrace the journey of the Dark Lords and find the rest of the map, traveling to Tatooine, where Revan reunited with his old assassin droid HK-47, though he had no idea why it called him Master. After defeating the mercenary Calo Nord, hired by Malak to stop them, they found the next part of the star map and continued on their way. Traveling to the Wookiee planet Kashyyyk, the crew of the Ebon Hawk worked to restore the honor of their exiled companion Zalbar, while also exposing the corruption of their leader, who was selling their own people as slaves to the Zerka Corporation. Finding a new crewmate with the Jedi Jolee Bindo living in the wilds of the planet, they recovered the next piece of the star map before moving on to Manon, where Revan found himself caught up in a murder trial, acting as arbiter for Sunri, an old friend of their newest companion. After previous attacks against Revan failed, Darth Bandon went in person to meet him on Manon, but was killed in the confrontation. Finding the next piece of the star map, the Ebon Hawk headed for Korriban, the last location they needed, but were caught and captured by Saul Karath of the Leviathan. Imprisoning the crew, they were tortured for information and learned the Sith destroyed the Jedi Enclave on Dantooine. Yet they were soon rescued by one of their companions who remained hidden on the ship and together fought their way to the bridge, where they confronted and killed Saul Karath. Once a mentor to Cartho Nassi, Karath whispered the secret about Revan into his ear, and when they next ran into Darth Malak, he revealed the truth to them all. While Revan stood shocked and confused to hear he was once a Sith Dark Lord, Basta Lashan sacrificed herself by charging at Malak, giving the others just enough time to escape. Love Star Wars? Then why not check out Audible, where they have the largest collection of audiobooks available. Sign up now and get a free audiobook along with 2 Audible originals, or else give the gift of membership to someone you know. If you prefer to read your stories, then click on the link to the Kindle Unlimited plan and get access to as many ebooks as you wish. If you haven't already, be sure to check out the Star Wars Old Republic series, including Book 3 exploring the life of the hero Revan after the Jedi Civil War. A special thanks to all those who contribute to Civilization X, like Warden of the X, Ranyas Senestella, Lady of the New Dawn and Keeper of Ancient Lore, Knight of the Red Dawn, Lord Terrazax Zoron, Master of Terror, and Knight of Iron and Ice Fred Heartless. If you'd like to help the channel, go to patreon.com/civilizationx, where you can sign up and gain early access to videos, vote on future content, and access the Patreon-only series, Heroes of Lore and Legend.